राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Jaya Radha Nila Madhav, Radha Nila Madhav, Radha Nila Madhav, Radhe Radhe. Jaya Gauranga, 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 Jaya Gauranga. Jai Giriraj Maharaj, Giriraj Maharaj, Giriraj Maharaj, Jai Giriraj Maharaj. Jai Nrsimha Dev, Nrsimha Dev, Nrsimha Dev, Jai Nrsimha Dev. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Paribrajakaacharya Shtodrakshya Srimati Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Vibhidi Sansthapakaracharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Paribrajakaacharya Shtodrakshya Srimati Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की, पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, गंगा माई जमुना माई की, भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की, कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की, श्रीला प्रभुपाद ट्रांसलेशनल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuronmilitam Yenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Yeah, that's better. So thank you very much. I think so. Yeah. Thank you, Sarang Thakur Prabhu, for inviting me here. You seem to be a good engineer. So today is the appearance day of His Holiness, His Divine Grace, Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Tamal Krishna Maharaj ki. Jai. So we are grateful to Dharmesh ji and Bhavi Mataji for hosting us, allowing us to use their homes. Quite a few people are standing. Why don't you just... There's a lot of space here. No, I mean this side is there, or you can all shift a little bit. So I'll speak on Srila Prabhupada's leadership qualities. Anybody who has influence over others is a leader. What was there in Srila Prabhupada which attracted so many young people in those days to take his shelter and practice the process? Practically, none of them had ever experienced Vedic culture, Sanatana Dharma, but still they felt so compelled and committed to Srila Prabhupada. One of the right-hand generals of Srila Prabhupada was Tamal Krishna Maharaj. And therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam describes Madrik Prapanna Pashupasha Vimokshanaya Muktaya Bhuri Karunaya Namo Lalaya. All of us are looking for an ideal master whom we can surrender unto, give our emotions and feelings and follow them. So when Gajendra is offering his prayers, he is remembering Krishna's qualities. And he's saying, what makes me attracted towards Krishna? Pashupasha Vimokshanaya. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the only one who can offer us vimukti. Vimukti means that form of mukti where we are situated in our eternal constitutional position. Nemam pirincho na bhavo na shrir api anga samshraya prasade lebhire gopi yattat prapya vimuktidat. Krishna did not give to anyone, including Brahmaji and Shiva, that kind of benefit the way he gave to Mother Yashoda. Allowed Mother Yashoda to become his own mother and nourish him. So in that verse, the word Vimuktidat comes. Vimuktidat means Visheshena Mukti, one who offers the position in the eternal spiritual world. So Gajendra is glorifying Lord Krishna as Vimokshanaya, one who offers mukti in one's constitutional position in the spiritual world. Muktaya, and he can do that because he is completely free. Bhuri Karunaya, he is full of compassion. Namo Alalaya. Alalaya means one who is constantly vigilant about how the conditioned soul can be helped. Alalaya means sometimes if someone offers some mercy or compassion, help, and one responds to that offer of help with impudence, ingratitude, then the person offering help reduces his enthusiasm to offer the help next time. Right? Maybe the children can be taken out somewhere. So the important point is this, that when we offer help to somebody, we expect them to receive that help. And when they are totally against what we are doing, we don't feel like helping. But the interesting thing about Krishna is, for millions of lifetimes, the conditioned soul has been opposed to him. But still he is constantly trying to help. That is called Alalaya. Alalaya means when there is absolutely no decrease in the enthusiasm to serve and help, in spite of all kinds of negativity. Alalaya. There was one atheist, and he was always making fun of this lady, old lady, who was always chanting Krishna's glories. So this atheist wanted to make fun of her. This lady was always chanting, Hey Krishna, Hey Govinda, Hey Gopal. She was always seeing Krishna's hand everywhere in everything. So the atheist one day went and he purchased a lot of grocery and other items and brought it and kept it right in front of the lady's house. and knocked on the door. And after knocking on the door, he goes and hides behind the trees and bushes. He wants to see the fun. So the lady opens the house and then she sees all this 1 week's grocery. So she's in ecstasy. She raises her hand and says, "Hey Krishna, hey Govinda, hey Gopal. You are so merciful. You have sent me 1 week's ration. Rice, dal, oil, this, that, everything." And this guy was just waiting for that opportunity. Jumps from behind the bushes, comes in front and says, "Hey, what you are glorifying Krishna, Govinda, Gopal? You think they sent you this? I was the one who went to the market. I purchased all this. I paid the bill. Not your Krishna, Govinda and Gopal." So the lady immediately raises her hand and says, "Hey Krishna, hey Govinda, Gopal, you are so merciful. Not only you send me 1 week's ration, but you made atheist pay the bill." Her vision did not change because she could see that, yes, it is only Krishna who is making it happen. And therefore, when Sudamaji comes back home after meeting Krishna in Dwarka, his wife had sent him to go and get some money from Krishna. Krishna did everything to him except give money. Massaged his feet, did chamar, fed him nicely, gave him a nice place to stay, spoke many stories about their past. So he entertained him well, but did not give any money. So if somebody has gone on fundraising, and if they are dealt with like that, they will feel very disappointed. And on the way back, they will only be thinking about that. But Sudama is in a very happy mood. Shvabhote vishvabhavena swasukhena bhivantita jagama swalayam tatapatham anuvrajjanandita. And Sudama experienced satisfaction because for any relationship of satisfaction, you need 2 things. First, there has to be mutual respect. And second, there has to be service which is very loving, reciprocation. Unless there is respect and reciprocation of loving service, there cannot be any satisfaction in any relationship. So because Krishna did not give Sudama any money, but he offered respect and reciprocation, Sudamaji was fully satisfied. So then he is praying to Krishna. Tasyeva me sauhrda sakya maitri dasyam punarjanmani janmani syat mahanubhavena gunalayena vishajjatastat purusha prasanga. So he's saying, "My dear Lord, please engage me in your loving service. Sauhrda Sakya Maitri. Give me the ability to constantly have the friendship, the well wishes, and the blessings of the devotees. Mahanubhavena gunalayena, of such devotees who are filled with divine qualities. Vishajjatas, and may I become attached to such devotees. That attachment is what I aspire for." And therefore, when Gajendraji is offering this prayer, he is thinking about the Supreme Lord who is Bhuri Karunaya, full of great compassion. Namo Alalaya, and constantly making efforts to save the conditioned souls, in spite of the souls not wanting Krishna's mercy. Even if the souls are saying, "We don't want you," but Krishna continues to support. Krishna continues to help. Krishna continues to take care of the conditioned souls. So that is the first quality which Srila Prabhupada demonstrated, which is humility. And that humility is most important, where one is ever willing to become an instrument in the hands of the devotees. Evam janam nipatitam prabhavahi kupe kamabhikamanuya prapatan prasangat kritvatmasat surarashina bhagavan grihita soham katham nu visrjeta vabhritya sevam. So, Prahlad Maharaj is praying that, my dear Lord, normally people would be very satisfied and happy if they just get darshan of Lord. I am getting your darshan. From the perspective of many practicing devotees, that is success. You are right in front of me, Lord Narsingadev. Adrishyata ati adbhuta rupa mudvaham satyam vidhatum nijabhrityamashitam. That form who has manifested just for pleasing his devotees, and that form has never manifested before. So having done that, Prahlad is saying, my biggest frustration is the person who actually changed the direction of my life. Because I was definitely going to hell. There was no other chance. My spot in hell was already reserved. And I was not going alone. All the members of Hiranyakashipu's family and relatives and friends, they were all going in that direction only. Kama bhi kamam anuya prapatan prasangat. Prapatan means perfectly fall. We were all planning to perfectly fall into hell. Prasangat, in each other's company and association. And it was guaranteed we were going in that direction only. So sometimes people argue that you Hare Krishna people are always making us fearful, saying there is hell and this and that and everything. That is all your propaganda. One time, one man, he left his body, so the Yamadutas came to him and made him an offer and said that most of the life you have committed sin for which you will go to hell. But you have also done some pious activities because of which you can go to heaven. So we will offer you some time in heaven and a long time in hell. But you choose where you want to go first. So he looked at the Yamadutas and he said, actually, I don't have much idea. What is heaven, what is hell? Can you give me some description? So the Yamadutas, by their mystic power, showed him like a, audio-visual presentation. Gave him an entrance into that vision. And they said, first we will show you heaven. And there he saw beautiful gardens, flowers blooming, birds are chirping, waterfalls. It was so beautiful. He said, wow, the heaven looks beautiful. Show me hell. So they gave him a vision of hell. There he saw beer bar, McDonald's, all kinds of dance club, gambling dens. He looked at the Yamadutas and said, this looks like Mumbai. So I would rather go there. So the Yamadutas take him to hell, and as soon as he's brought to hell, they attack him severely, take out his intestines, start burning him, boiling him, hitting him, chopping him. He starts crying at the top of his lungs. Yamaraj, Yamaraj, I've been cheated. So Yamaraj comes and says, hey, why you are shouting? Arey, your Yamadutas, they are showing something, doing something else. He said, what happened? Sorry, they showed me vision of hell, they showed all this McDonald's, they showed beer bar, this, that, but here something else is going. Yamaraj said, what they showed you was not hell, it was advertisement for hell. That is where you will go when you engage in those activities. So therefore, Prahlad Maharaj is convinced. When Prabhupada was in London, some reporter asked him, Swamiji, we heard in your tradition you all believe in hell. What is your concept of hell? Prabhupada said, London is hell. So they got totally bewildered. That London is hell. So Prabhupada at that time, the reporter then tried to defend himself. And he said that Swamiji, at least London is very green. It's so green, full of nice gardens and everything. Prabhupada said it is green hell. So, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Kama bhi kamam anuya prapatan prasangat. I was going to go to hell for sure. But something happened in my life. Kritva atmasat surarashina bhagavan grihita. Suddenly out of the blue came Narad Muni. And the words of Narad Muni transformed my life. Soham katham nu visrije tava bhritya sevam. So that's the power of association. Prahlad Maharaj, even though he was in such terrible association of Hiranyakashipu, but still he was protected from that association because of the presence of Shripad Narad Muni. And therefore he is expressing his gratitude that this satsang is such that even a little bit of association can completely transform one, change the direction of our life. And hence I am extremely grateful. Because of him, I am getting delivered. Because of him, even my father is getting delivered. Because Narsingadev, he says to Prahlad, Trisaptibi pita puta pitrabi sahate naga. That in any family, if anybody becomes a devotee, 21 generations of that family gets liberated. When I joined ISKCON, my family was upset. They didn't like it at all, that why you have joined this Hare Krishna. So I organized a satsang for them in Chennai, and we had almost 100 relatives. And I had taken one brahmachari devotee with me who gave lecture. And in the topic of his lecture was how Krishna consciousness delivers whole family. And then he quoted this verse and he pointed to me and he said, because Gauranga Prabhu is now become Hare Krishna devotee, all of you will go to Vaikuntha. So everybody was very blissful. And after the lecture, one cousin came to me and said, please continue chanting. And then he said to me, if you have any problem, let me know. And therefore, Shukadeva Goswami is glorified by Parikshit. Opime Bhagavan Prita Krishna Pandu Sutapriya Paitra Sat Sevya Prityartham Yad Gotrasyata Bandhava. He says, Shukadeva Goswami has come to save me at this crucial moment because I am related to the Pandavas family. It's not because of my qualification. I am coming in the line as the grandson of Arjuna. So Arjuna was dear to Krishna. Yudhishthir was dear to Krishna. Bhima was dear to Krishna. Nakul, Sahadev, Kunti, Maharani, they were dear to Krishna. So I am simply recipient of Krishna's special grace on my forefathers. So therefore, when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, we should also remember that we don't have any special qualification. Our only qualification is we are connected to that family, the parampara of the Brahma, Narada, Gaudiya Shishya Parampara, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Shishya Parampara. And we are part of that legacy which has been connected to Krishna right from the very beginning. And because of that, we get some qualification. And that is the humility which Srila Prabhupada always carried, because he always knew he is just representing the desires of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Prabhupada was in Sitakant Banerjee Lane. On the first floor of the house, he had given that one room in that first floor to the Gaudiya Math devotees for studying Harinama Amrita Vyakaran. And one of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada's disciples, whose name was Srila Dol Govinda Shastri, he was teaching Harinama Amrita Vyakaran to the Gaudiya Math Brahmacharis. So one day Srila Prabhupada was sitting on the steps between the ground floor and the first floor. In the old style houses, you would have staircase from outside. So sometimes tenants would be given on the first floor to stay and things like that. So Srila Prabhupada that time was Grihastha Abhay Babu, who was sitting and chanting on the steps. So Dol Govinda Shastri comes out, he sits right next to Srila Prabhupada, and then he asks, Abhay Babu, I just gave lecture on the topic Prithvi Tyache Joto Nagaradi Gram Sarvutta Prachara Hoive Muranam. In every town and village, the holy name will spread. I gave the lecture, every town and village holy name. But how will it happen? We have never gone beyond Bengal. Will it ever happen? So at that time, Srila Prabhupada got up, took 2 steps down, turned around and pointing to Srila Dolu Govinda Shastri, he said, if Lord Chaitanya has made that prediction, if Lord Chaitanya has made that prediction, it must happen. And then Srila Prabhupada took 2 steps down further, turned around and pointing to Dol Govinda Shastri, he said, someday a fool who is surrendered at the lotus feet of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada will make it happen. And Srila Prabhupada took 2 steps down further. And Dol Govinda Shastri at that point started thinking, because he was also Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada disciple. He started thinking, will it be me? And Prabhupada took 2 steps down and turned around and pointing to Dol Govinda Shastri, Prabhupada said, it will not be you. So Dol Govinda Shastri got very upset and he started thinking, what does Abhay Babu think he is going to do it? How will he do it? He is a grihastha with business and family and is always thinking money, money, money. How will he do it? When Prabhupada returned back from America in the 70s, he was sitting in Juhu Temple Terrace and a lot of life members were sitting around him. So one very famous relative of the Birla family, Mr. Brij Ratan Mohta, he entered, offered obeisances to Prabhupada. Prabhupada introduced him and he said, meet Mr. Brij Ratan Mohta, one of the biggest businessmen in Mumbai. So immediately Mr. Mohta folded his hands and told Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, you went to America with 40 rupees in your pocket. Now you have properties all over the world worth 40 crore rupees. You are the real businessman. Prabhupada immediately turned to him and said, why don't you join my business? So he said, not now, but I will support you. So Srila Prabhupada took that one instruction of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada and took it to his heart and meditated upon it from 1922 till 1966. 44 years of meditation. And therefore when Srila Rupa and Sanatana Goswami meet Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they express the same kind of humility. Mlecha jati mlecha sevi kori mlecha karma go brahmana drohe sange amara sangam. They say a person gets elevated or degraded because of three reasons. Because of one's birth, because of one's occupation, and because of one's association. This can either elevate one or degrade one. Therefore, we have become degraded because of association with Nawab Hussain Shah. Jagai madai hoite koti koti gun adhama patita prabhu amiduijan. We are more fallen than Jagai and Madhai. So I tell this story that when I was in IIT, I heard first time the story of Jagai and Madhai being delivered, and by seeing their deliverance, whole Bengal was delivered. Everybody in Bengal became enthusiastic. If Jagai and Madhai can become devotees, why not us? So I loved that story. So I thought I'll go and catch the biggest drunkard in my hostel and bring him to Krishna consciousness. If he becomes devotee, whole hostel will chant and dance. So it was the first time I was, new devotee, just getting connected to Krishna consciousness. So every day was a new idea. So I went to my friend, who was famous for being drunk most of the day. So I went to him, he was already drunk, he had bottle in his hand. I went and told him, I want you to come this Saturday for a program. He looked at me and said, what program? I said, Bhagavad Gita lecture. He looked at me and said, are you drunk? Whom are you inviting, man? You don't know my reputation? I am a guy who will attend Gita lecture? Forget it. I said, everyone has a future. No matter whatever may be your habit, there is always a day you can change. So he looked at me and said, okay, I will come on one condition. I will bring the bottle of liquor with me to the Gita lecture. Will ISKCON allow that? So he thought I'll back off. So I also got confused because this was the first time I was inviting someone and he threw this upon me. So I thought I'll call the temple and ask that why I am calling somebody. The guy wants to bring bottle with him. Will you allow him? Then I thought they'll tell me you also don't come. We have enough. So I said, okay. Since I had already made that offer, it was a matter of the ego. So I didn't want to back off. I said, no, you come, you have to come. Bring the liquor bottle, no problem, but you will come. So he came with me. So our lecture used to be Saturday 11 o'clock. So he was already half drunk. He had finished half the bottle. He was regular in his sadhana. Pretty consistent. Absorbed. So as we were entering the room, I just told him, Baba, you have brought the bottle up till here. Don't take it inside. Keep it above the door on this ledge here. He looked at me and said, ISKCON guys won't drink it, no? So I said, Baba, they don't drink tea and coffee also. So, okay, he kept it there. I said, I have one condition. You will not open your mouth because smell will come. Then I will be caught. So you just keep your mouth shut. So he came inside, sat down quietly next to me. So the preacher, was very enthusiastic. He saw every week 2 people were coming, now 3 people have come. So it was a big jump in the crowd. 1 extra guy. So I looked at him and said, what's your name? I gave the answer. His name is so-and-so. Which branch are you in? I gave the answer. Which year you are in? I gave the answer. I was wondering, I'm asking him the question, why is he answering? I said, Prabhu, my friend is very shy. So in the middle of the lecture, my friend just pokes me like this and said, how long will the lecture continue? I said, Baba, first they will give the full philosophy, then only they will feed you. Oh, okay. He got so restless, he went out and finished the remaining liquor. That is the kind of addiction which controls people. And then at the end, this preacher said, will you take mala? He said, yes. I said, are you going to chant? Why you are taking? He said, he is offering me, so I am taking. So I took the mala with him. He went to the hostel. He had mala in one hand, liquor bottle in another hand. And he said, I have joined ISKCON. Everybody was making fun of me, saying, what is going on? It took me 1 week to take the mala from him. So the transformation happens only when there is solid association. Srila Prabhupada gives the example. When someone associates with those who have taste in liquor and intoxication, then they also become like that. And therefore, one has to come in contact with and associate with those who are intoxicated by Krishna's love. Harirasa madira madati matta bhuivulidama vishama nirvishama. So therefore that transformation happens when we associate with the devotees. So Rupa and Sanatan tell Lord Chaitanya, Mora karma mora hate golae bandhiya kubishaya vishta garthe diyache bhilaya. That we have only made choices because of which we are entering deeper into hell. Please release us. Vamanayaiche chand dharite chahe kore taiche ei vancha more uthaye antare. My dear Lord, you are right there and we are right here. But still you can always reach out through the rays of your mercy and deliver us. And that is the transformation which happens by the power of the Guru Parampara, which can touch even the most fallen when approached with humility. And that was the fundamental principle which Srila Prabhupada demonstrated. That although so highly elevated, at highly advanced age of 70, he was willing to be the servant of the servant of each and every young boy and girl who was coming, was not even following the principles. And he was cooking for them, cleaning the dishes, patiently answering the questions, allowing them to get transformed by Krishna. And that is how people like Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj connected with Srila Prabhupada, surrendered themselves totally at his lotus feet. So Srila Prabhupada was on a morning walk and he asked the question, why is Krishna the Supreme Personality of Godhead? One devotee said, Srila Prabhupada, because Bhagavad Gita says. Prabhupada said, well, someone can argue Gita is only a book. Another devotee said, Prabhupada, because you say. Prabhupada said, someone can say, oh, he is an old man. You cannot predict what he will say. So then the devotee said, we don't know the answer. So Srila Prabhupada said, when you chant Hare Krishna, you experience the transformation. That's why you understand Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. 2-3 years later, Prabhupada was in another place having a morning walk. And then again he asked the same question. Why is Krishna the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And one devotee from that walk was here. He thought, I know the answer. Let me impress everybody. And he said, Prabhupada, because when you chant Hare Krishna, you experience the transformation. Prabhupada said, no, because Gita says so. And then Prabhupada said, each and every aspect of Krishna consciousness is reconfirmed based on Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Anything which is not vetted by Shastra is not accepted, because it is based on Shastra that the whole process is established. Kalena Vrindavana Kelivartam Lupteti Tvam Kyapayatum Vishishya Kripamratena Vishishesha Devas Tatraiva Rupam Cha Sanatanam Cha. In due course of time, the beautiful pastimes of Krishna and Vrindavan was lost. Kalena Vrindavana Keli Varta Lupteti. But still, Lord wanted to re-establish that. Therefore, He established an empowered Rupa and Sanatan to again restore those Vrindavan pastimes through their literatures. So Rupa and Sanatan were empowered to produce so many literatures following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. And all the Krishna Katha was again restored back. So just like Srila Rupa Goswami was empowered by Srila Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada was also empowered to produce literatures, to write books in the English language. And so the Bhaktivedanta purports of Srila Prabhupada, each and every word has been thought through to impact our heart and consciousness for the next 10,000 years. And Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj took this fantastic opportunity to take these books out to the people and became one of the foremost strategists for book distribution through his Radha Damodar Sankirtan party. Srila Prabhupada said, if you want to please me, distribute my books. Why? Because the books create transformation in people's consciousness. Ekantino yasya na kanchanartham vanchanti yevai bhagavat prapanna atyadbhutam taccharitam sumangalam gayanta ananda samudramagna. Gajendraji says that the great devotees were absorbed in Krishna Katha. They have no other desire except to always float in the ocean of the nectar of Harikatha. So Srila Prabhupada was always floating in that nectar. All through the night, he was simply sitting and translating. In spite of such advanced age. And because he had less time, he wanted these books to go out. And so people like Tamal Krishna Maharaj were assisting him in that seva. I remember I was distributing the Bhagavad Gita in the local trains in Mumbai. You know, local trains are so crowded. One professor was asking me, you guys, what do you get by traveling in that train in Mumbai? I said, free massage. So I entered, I had a bag of Bhagavad Gita around my shoulder, and somebody just came in front of me. It was so crowded, I could not even move. And this guy came in front of me and looked at me and said, are you Hare Krishna? I said, who else has this title? Of course we are Hare Krishna. He said, Gita chahiye. I want one Bhagavad Gita. I said, you can see that I cannot move my hand. Put your hand inside my bag. Pick up the Gita. The bag is filled with Gitas. So I put the hand inside the bag, picked up the Gita. He said, how much? I said, 70 rupees. He took out a 100 rupee note. I was still like this. I told him, can you see my pocket? He said, yes. I said, put the 100 rupee, take 30 rupees. So he put inside, counted 30 rupees, took it. The whole Bhagavad Gita I distributed without even moving. That day I realized I am not the doer. I didn't go searching for him. He came from somewhere. Without even my moving one bit, he just took the Gita. So Srila Prabhupada, he said, the books will automatically create transformation. And that's the power of these literatures. Chota bada bhaktagan, vando sabar sri charan, sabe more korah santosh, swarupa gosair matarupa raghunath jane yata tai likhi nahi moradosh. So our Kaviraj Goswami is saying, I have been instructed to write the Chaitanya Charitamrita. I am simply a puppet who is humbly following. And I am at the age of 90 plus. So I seek the blessings of all devotees, small and big. May everybody be pleased with me. Whatever I am writing is nothing but the instruction of Swarup Damodar Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta and Raghunath Das Goswami. And therefore, I simply am acting as a puppet in their hands. That is the mood of a devotee. Sheshalila Sutragan Korikichu Vivaran Iha Vistarite Chitta Hoye Thake Jadi Ayo Shesh Vistariba Lila Shesh Jadi Mahaprabhu Kripa Hoye. So he says, I am now in my 90s. I don't have that asset which all of you take for granted. Time. I am going to complete writing tonight up to a certain point, but I don't have guarantee that tomorrow my eyes will open. So what will happen if the work is unfinished? So many pastimes of Lord Chaitanya will be unrevealed to the world. Therefore, Shesha Leela Sutragan. Entire Antalila I want to just give in small one line, so that people will at least get some headline in case I die. Kari kichu vivaran iha vistarite chitto hoy. I have great desire to expand it, but I don't know whether I will live or not. Thake jadi ayushesh vistariba lila shesh. The power to serve is given by Krishna. It is not based on my past life's karma that I get the power to serve. Krishna empowers us to serve. Without his will, without his desire, without his empowerment, no one can do anything, however powerful they think they may be. And therefore, Thake jadi ayushesh, bistari balila shesh. If I am given the permission to stay longer, then I will write further. Jadi Mahaprabhu Kripa hoye. Every breath I take is nothing but a mercy of the Lord. We should never forget that. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada, at such an advanced age, continued to translate all through the night because he realized he is racing against time. 1955 to 1965, Prabhupada translated only Canto 1. 10 years, one Canto. 1966 to 77. He went up to 10th Canto Bhagavatam and complete Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Devotion and teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So many literatures. Unbelievable. Because if you think in first 10 years he translated only one canto, next years, 10 years he should translate another one canto. That is what the normal logic says. Krishna Shakti Vina Nahi Tara Pravartan. When Krishna has decided to make you an instrument, nobody can predict what will happen. So Krishna consciousness could not be established in Bharat. But it was Tamal Krishna Maharaj who came. And Prabhupada along with him brought some other disciples. They were the ones who established ISKCON in India. And Prabhupada empowered them to establish temples. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj was made the first GBC. Prabhupada said we should have a life membership program. The devotees went to Calcutta. And as typical in Indian homes, the hosts were feeding them like anything. So the American young people, they were telling, enough, enough. But in India, even if you say enough, people will still serve. So they didn't realize what was going on. They thought we are saying enough, but still they are serving. So they went on serving, they went on eating. So after going back to the Calcutta temple, one of the brahmacharis had his hand on the stomach and he said, Prabhupada, my stomach is paining. Prabhupada said, naturally you ate 25 puris. So another brahmachari started laughing. Prabhupada said, you don't laugh, you ate 15. And they said, how do you know? Prabhupada said, I was counting. Prabhupada said, we are going there because we want to create relationship through association. And through that association, they will transform. And that is what happened by Srila Prabhupada's desire. And Prabhupada wanted Mayapur to be declared as the world headquarters. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj was the one who went and made the deal of purchasing the first piece of land in Mayapur. Few acres of land in Mayapur in 1971. Today Mayapur has more than 800 acres of land. But everything began with Tamal Krishna Maharaj giving the Lakshmi, which Prabhupada had given, and purchasing that land. Tamal Krishna Maharaj was in Kumbh Mela with Srila Prabhupada. And he came running to Prabhupada and he said, two devotees are having a major debate. Prabhupada said, what happened? He said, Madhudvishya Prabhu is saying the difference between Krishna and Balram is Krishna is black, Balram is white. Prabhupada said, he is right. Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, but Yamuna Devi, she is saying difference between Krishna and Balram is only Krishna enjoys with Radharani, not Balram. Prabhupada said, she is right. Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, Prabhupada, both are saying two different things. How can both be right? Prabhupada said, you are right. So he got bewildered. He said, Prabhupada, what's the right answer? Prabhupada said, you decide. And Prabhupada said, people call me Prabhupada, but treat me like Problem Pad. So Srila Prabhupada although had almost a 50-year age difference between him and the disciples, in that short period of 11 years, because he transmitted the pure parampara knowledge of the acharyas, of a bona fide line, with authenticity, with absorption, with purity. Even though they were young, but in a short period of time, they got sufficiently empowered to carry on the legacy. And the proof of that is when Prabhupada departed, he had only 5 to 6, 7 temples in Bharat. Out of 108, more than 100 were outside India. Out of 5,500 disciples, he hardly had 20, 30 in India. Rest were all Western. So when he departed, everybody thought, what will happen to the movement? But because he established the GBC and a collective management, over a period of time, after the founder Acharya's departure, in spite of many challenges, problems, difficulties, the movement grew strength to strength. And today ISKCON has 1100 temples in 120 countries and distributed 550 million Bhagavad Gitas all over the world in 80 languages. So, am I supposed to stop? I can continue. Okay. So that's the whole mood with Srila Prabhupada. He just came to distribute. He just wanted the knowledge of the parampara to flow. So that's the advantage of coming in a bona fide line. And all that requires is the humility to say that I don't have any qualification. But despite my qualification, if I connect to the pure message of grace, of wisdom into the parampara, that parampara with all their potency will transform me. That's the idea which we see embodied here. So the legacy continues. Tamal Krishna Maharaj had a great desire to establish beautiful temples here in Texas. So we have one beautiful temple in Dallas. He had a dream to establish a big beautiful temple in Houston. During his lifetime, he could not see this temple manifest to its full glory. But again, we see the power of the parampara in action. Because he had that deep desire. Because Prabhupada had that desire. He carried Prabhupada's desire. After his departure, all our devotees with Shyam Sundar Prabhu and Sarang Thakur Prabhu and others carried that legacy forward, and such a beautiful temple has manifested, which is one of the best temples in whole of ISKCON, the ISKCON of Houston. And why do I say that? Number one, because I have traveled across practically all continents and seen ISKCON temples everywhere. Secondly, you have all the elements which a temple should have. A beautiful temple, a gift shop, a huge restaurant. You have 40, 50 apartment blocks for devotees to stay. Because I am coming from a temple priest family traditionally, from Palakkad. Palakkad Brahman, Iyer, temple priest. From my mother's side, we are priests of Lakshmi Narayan temple in Kalpati. And from my father's side, we are priests from Varadaraj Perumal temple in Alambalam in Kerala. So that's been my family tradition. Of course, everything gets forgotten over time, and then practically everybody is now into technology only. Nobody is into temple priest. So apart from me, I'm back to the roots. But in all these places where the temples are there, they have what is known as Agraharam. So those who are from south are aware of Agraharam. Yeah, how many of you are aware of Agraharam? Yeah. So Agraharam means right next to the temple, the Sevites, they stay on both sides. The Brahmanas are staying on both sides near the temple, so that the deity worship can happen unobstructedly. That is called Agraharam. It's a standard protocol. The temple has to be surrounded by priests. So with your 40-45 apartment, you have created, this is like the modern day Agraharam in Houston. Monks can never be depended upon to do deity worship in the long run, because we are always traveling. You need people who are stable and stay at place. So only traditionally, all traditional temples in Bharat, they are always having Sevites as Grahasthas only. Okay. So therefore, one is Houston, which has this Agraharam I can see, and the other is Los Angeles. 1971-72, Prabhupada told, try to buy as many houses in the Vatsika Avenue. So today you will be happy to know that in Vatsika Avenue, in the same lane where Rukmini Dwarkadish temple is, ISKCON has 75 flats in Los Angeles. So therefore, that is another feature in your temple. And I believe you are going to expand further, I heard.
We just got the funds.
Yeah, so more flats you will have, so that it offers more stability. Then another feature you have is you have got a retreat center. You have cows also. Another feature you have is you have a school also. Another feature you have is you have a guest house also. And you have a sannyasi quarter also. बचा ही क्या है?
They're working on the elderly care facilities.
See. So all the features are right here. So that's the effect of the parampara. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj is still present, just as Srila Prabhupada is still present through their potency. And whoever tries to fulfill their will and desire, experience that potency of the parampara. So therefore I want to congratulate each one of you, and Shyam Sundar Prabhu, Sarang Thakur Prabhu and others who have taken up that legacy of Srila Prabhupada and Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, and tried to bring Krishna consciousness to the people of this world in the most sublime, compassionate and easy manner. Sometimes when you have something right around the corner, you may take it for granted. But you should know that there are places across the world where building temple is not possible. There are places across the world where even if you build the temple, like Bangladesh has 120 temples of ISKCON, they need to be constantly surrounded by 8 to 10 policemen. Then only the temple can actually exist, constantly under threat. So there are so many places where there are difficulties, challenges. So you are able to operate here freely, take care of your families, at the same time connect them to Krishna consciousness in a beautifully managed temple. So that's such a great fortune. So we should be grateful to Srila Prabhupada, to Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, to all the devotees in our Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Parampara, by whose potency we are able to receive some of this mercy, some of this grace. What all austerities they have gone through, because of that austerity, we are able to sit peacefully here in a nice ambience, air-conditioned ambience. Otherwise, the Goswamis were under the trees in Vrindavan, being bitten by mosquitoes and all. And then they wrote the books. And because of that, then further, so many things happened, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur had to spend 12 years searching for one copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then Srila Prabhupada had to spend so many years seeing so many conflicts, fights, battles, then spent sleepless nights translating the books. Now all the books you get in your smartphone only. And we have difficulty switching it on. So therefore, on this day of Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj's appearance day, let us remember the sacrifice which he has made in service to Srila Prabhupada, in bringing us Krishna consciousness, not only here in Houston, Texas, but also in Bharat, where he was one of the pioneers to establish Krishna consciousness. At a time when it did not appear that Indians will take to Krishna consciousness seriously, during Prabhupada's lifetime, things were very tough. If you read Giriraj Maharaj's book, I Shall Build You a Temple. But today you'll be happy to know that Bharat has more than 350 ISKCON temples with 15,000 students in colleges chanting 16 rounds. So this is all part of the ISKCON India Youth Council. So again, I see this as the prasad and the grace of the parampara, that the desire, austerities, and the mission of the parampara gets manifested at different points of time by their will. And we just need to play the part of being the instruments. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.